folks. Very much apologize for the delay. Looks like right now we have the Queen Creek City High School. Uh, their robot name is Under Pressure. They have 10 members and one mentor. So far, they've been doing a pretty impressive run so far. We know that they've identified lots of tasks in the mission. They've also went and found the right liver sample and brought it back on the deck. That's going to give them some pretty good points. Looks like they are now looking for the medicine or potentially the enzymes as well. Queen Creek is making another attempt. They don't quite get the medicine. Looks like they're going to line up again. The tasks associated with this medicine deposit are actually pretty significant. There are a couple steps you have to do to actually get the points, but when you add it all together, it's actually a pretty high value task. Queen Creek making another attempt at grabbing the medicine. Looks like they got it in, but can they? It doesn't quite stick. They're going to have to get their hook a little bit deeper in before they can pull it out. Queen Creek, one of our more famous teams here at NURC. They've been featured on local news channel 4, and their robot Bert was presenting at a different news station. So they've been out spreading the word of STEM and NURC and really helping to change the culture of their school and their area.
They're going to give it another shot for the medicine. Lining up. And looks like they have it hooked.
Yep, Queen Creek able to pull the medicine out. If they can deliver it to the right liver sample station, they're going to get some pretty nice points here. Looks like they found the right location now. It's all about shifting it into the right spot. It's a little bit hard to see with their camera angle. That's going to be a little bit tricky for them, but let's see if they can do it anyways. They're very close to completing this task. Or they might have just done it. It's hard to tell, but that looks pretty close.
Very close to into the insert. I believe we won't know until the final result, but it looks like it's pretty good. Looks like they want to assure that they get those points, so they're gonna push it into the position.
Yeah, always a good idea to make sure it's a little bit more than close and actually fully inserted. That'll allow them to leave no room for error on the judge's side. Unofficial time here, we have 8 minutes left in their run. Plenty of time to do some other tasks and get as many points as they can. Looks like they're scoping out the area, potentially looking for their tether or looking for other tasks to identify. Looking at their robot's view in the top right, you can really see how difficult this mission actually is, especially when done at night. Even if your camera has a wide field of view, you'll only be able to see what your light can basically shine back to you, the camera. Everything else is pretty much unseeable. Seems like they're scoping out their own robot's tether. Or no, that is a different object. It's hard to tell from here.
And right now they are directly looking at the wall. Not too sure what they're looking for here.
Another interesting fact about this team, just yesterday their power module and Raspberry Pi computer both burned out, and they had to work overnight to get this robot up and running. And because they were able to do that, they were able to qualify and come out here tonight to compete. And they're doing a fantastic job so far. They've already accumulated a fair bit amount of points, but they're not done. They're looking for whatever points they can find out into this mission. Looks like they've scoped out their next target. They want that enzyme so that way they can open up a whole new route of missions as well as earn as many points as they can.
Yeah. 39.3. 39.3. So multiply by 39.3.
Looks like they're trying to go for one of the enzymes here.
Thank you. You have the Google machine.
Unofficial time, about 5 minutes left. So that's plenty of time to get an enzyme and head back to base if that's what they want to do.
Now, I was literally like, that is way too much. Okay.
We've seen the enzyme be a tricky object for teams that have already completed their mission. Looks like they're having the same type of difficulties. Those rings are definitely a lot smaller than any of the other rings for the other objects, so they're going to have to find a way to be very precise if they want to grab one of them.
Literally in math class, like, I feel like we don't use metrics.
I mean, I did learn the metric system where the U.S. was just barely starting to use it.
I know.
When I was a kid. Smooth as fast. Smooth as fast.
Yeah, 4 minutes.
About 4 minutes remaining. It looks like one of their biggest difficulties is that enzyme basically keeps turning itself at the wrong angle towards them, making it virtually impossible to grab it.
Yeah, so it was the Fathom X file.
With a little bit of luck, they should have a better chance coming in at a new angle.
Their current approach is a little tough because at the angle they have to approach it, the enzyme has to be off camera, so they kind of have to hope that they're turning into it.
Depth perception is also another big factor at this event. Uh, you don't really notice it
So how do
with
we
standard cameras when doing regular video recording, but when you're trying to actually navigate a robot using a camera, you quickly realize that depth perception requires stereoscopic vision, which most teams will not have on their robots. So it's going to be very tricky for them to try to pick up an object when they don't know exactly how far it is.
Oh, looks like they did turn into it, but unfortunately came right out afterwards.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm like.
they were very close. Looks like they're going to try again. They have been getting better at these approaches.
Unofficial time, we have about 2 minutes left for their run. Looks like they've abandoned the enzyme.
Do you want me to put my hand down so you can see?
Please.
Yeah, I believe they are going back to base now with the last 2 minutes of their run.
It's really been incredible how many teams are taking the right amount of time to come back to base and actually surfacing as well.
Sure.
In many years past, when NURC was held in the past, I'd say roughly half the teams didn't make it back to the dock. Here, pretty much every team is accomplishing lots of different tasks,
Disarmed.
as well as getting back to base as well. And look
Yeah.
at that, Queen Crook City High, successful mission. They're going to walk away with quite a few points. We'll have to wait for the refs to give us the final total. Great job to them. Congratulations, Queen Creek City High. We're going to go back to an intermission as we wait for our last team, Degrees of Freedom.
Communication lost.
Yeah, sorry if we blinded you. Yeah, those are yours.
find the blood pressure, we find the blood sugar, we'll stop, take a picture, and then keep going. So that way Natalie has more time to. So, so now you need to get ready to take your photo. So you might want to come over here. Take your eyes for now. Yep. We put this over here. And you need to plug this cable into your.
Saturday night.
Jessica.
Tim.
You're on.
Welcome back, folks. We are on our last mission of the night with our last team, Degrees of Freedom. They are the community team from Chandler, Arizona. They have 7 members and 3 mentors. The robot, the SS Selena.
Yes.
Fun-
So a fun fact about the team: the ship's head is 2 baby hands, which also happens to be the team's logo. So if you look at their shirts, they have the 2-hand silhouette, and that's also the shape of their robot's head.
Yeah, this culture-changing team is a Chairman's Award winner in the first robotics competition, and now they're tackling the nature of underwater robotics. Interesting robot with interesting mechanism. We'll see how they do as they begin to embark on their mission.
Nine, 8, 7.
We're gonna try to do your stuff first.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And she goes.
And the SS Selena has sailed.
Yep, the all-girls team, Degrees of Freedom, beginning their mission. Time is on the clock. We'll see how they do.
All right. So turn on the lights.
Looks like they're doing a full systems check underwater, making sure there is no leaks.
All right. So you're gonna drive forward. Valerie, what's that right there?
What?
What's that right there?
I can't see it. Oh,
That's a diver.
No, but what's the diver coming out of?
Oh, the aorta?
Okay, so let the judge know that
Okay.
you found
Hey,
the aorta.
Mr. Judge.
Yep, you got it.
Mr. Judge, that's the aorta.
Okay. Something
Now,
right here.
what's
What's that?
Okay, that's the
Careful,
kidney.
Daddy.
That's a kidney.
Yeah.
And the stones.
So stay away from that 'cause you don't want to knock any of those out by mistake. I think go to the right.
Degrees of Freedom doing an excellent job at identifying mission tasks very quickly. That's going to leave them plenty of time to do
That is
any of the manipulation tasks down the road.
The distance marker. And the blood pressure.
What is this one right here? Right yellow.
That's a service tray.
Where's the other one?
Okay. What is there's something over here?
What's that thing right in the middle?
Oh, what's this right there?
That is a blood pressure.
Yeah.
Okay. So back up, back up,
So
back
that's a
up,
blood
back
pressure.
up, back up. We're gonna take our back up.
We're gonna
Patient.
take
And
the
now that we're
blood
reaching
pressure.
the end of our
Picture
runs, just a quick reminder of this competition sponsors. We have the CSEP Weather Foundation, Microchip Technologies, ASU, Blue Robotics, and Scuba Professionals.
Okay, right there. Pause it. All right, Natalie. You got it?
Can you
A
see?
big thank you to all of our sponsors. This could not have been done without them.
Right there.
Okay.
Got it?
Yep, and Degrees of Freedom, the CSIP Poetic Community Team. Looks like they're doing a little bit of a systems update, just so that way they can make sure all their functions are working.
Okay, what
That way there's no confusion as they try to do any of the mission tasks.
The target.
I see they're doing a great thing that actually I haven't seen another team do. They're kind of, you mentioned it earlier, where you kind of drive on the ground.
Can you see the
So they've been doing a lot of stop and go, go, stop, identify, go, stop, identify. And it's working out pretty well for them.
Yep, When you have a robot and you throw it in the water with 50 to 100 feet of tether, there's going to be a ton of latency both in the camera and the operator controls. So
It's too
any way to slow down your movement or make it more consistent is going to be very helpful when trying to navigate.
6, so then maybe this one's 7. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, now turn to the right a little. Go. Oh, you're not.
second. You want me to measure?
Go forward, yeah. Oh,
That was 6.
no, that one was 6, and then this one's 7. This looks like a 7.
Dimmer.
Yeah, let's get a 4 or
Keep going.
I think it's 7. There's not the middle line. Yeah.
Is it do anything? Try it back.
Is it water?
So the camera is go dimmer.
I think it's 7.
Yeah.
That looks okay. Yeah.
It's 7.
So this one's 7.
Yeah.
I think that's 7.
Is there a label on the other side? Maybe you can come around.
Nah, it's just on the one side.
That's just one side. Yeah.
So you're,
It's 3.5 minutes
turn
to
it on.
collapse.
Turn it on, please.
Oh.
Give me a second.
Okay.
Here we go. Try to get closer. Get closer.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, we can't.
Turn right.
And then turn.
Turn it right.
I think that's like let's go
Looks like they
backwards.
might be having a little bit of a power issue. We saw that in the first team here,
I'm really sorry.
or one of the earlier teams here, where basically as they move forward, they kind of lose their camera feed and lights. This might be what we're seeing here. It's hard to tell.
So
You're not gonna be able to see it right now.
we should just. I think we should go first.
How you gonna do it without being able to see the hook?
Oh.
So do we have okay.
So what else do we need to identify? We can
The
come back.
brain, and then that was at the target liver sample because we did the aorta, the kidney, and then the
And
stones.
we can't do the brain till we pass through the
Yeah, the distance.
So let's take a
and the
picture.
chemistry we did.
Let's take a picture of the blood pressure one.
the left.
Yep. So there's that. Every team does get 20 minutes of mission run time. There are no timeouts. So, it seems like they're going to go for as many points as they can with the current system that they have.
Kidney is forward and
That's
or
a liver.
kidney would be like back.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you want to be able to back up so you can see the border. Oh, Kenny's over here. Okay. Turn.
Oh,
Turn
did we
that
hit
way.
it? I think we did.
You're okay. As long as we're still
If
on.
we go back.
Back.
Can you see any of the bad kidney stones?
Oh yeah, can we identify any kidney stones?
I found one. Right there.
Okay. Can you find the other one? Maybe come in.
I think we knocked it out. What if you try and go up and then? We can't go up.
So you can't go back any further? Okay, turn.
Oh wait. Go back a little bit
Okay,
more. You
stop.
almost had all the border there.
No, but she needs to the other side.
Oh.
It's right there.
You can use this as our reference. So we still know that's 6 inches. So I'm going to point here. Got it? Okay. All right, I need someone else to drive or help her because we're going to work on the calculations part.
Okay, Tanisha, I can help with that.
Okay.
Do you guys want to go do that?
So go ahead. Which one do you want to do first? The depth one?
I'm already doing the.
Okay.
Do you guys want to go to the brain? We can't. Well, we can't go through the aorta.
Yeah, you look at the enzyme.
So do it in inches. Do it in inches.
Okay. So
Looks like they're switching focus now. They were working on the kidney stones, and now they're gonna try to get the depth measurements for the blood pressure and blood sugar structures. I'm gonna work with you and check it. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll do it twice since we have time. Okay. Let's do the other one next.
okay.
Okay. So we want to
So,
surface.
Jessica, can you put your hand in the water?
With the flashlight.
I think you still have to go forward a little bit.
Oh, Jess is over there.
Okay.
I just see that.
So zoom in
Oh,
as
there
much
she
as
is.
we
Okay.
can. So we can't
You
zoom
have
in.
good
We gotta be able to
eyesight.
see both of the.
Okay, Caroline, can you
Right there.
help Jessica pull it
Put the
out? But
camera-
then you
put
just
the phone
can't
down.
talk to us afterwards.
So
what you're gonna do is see where my finger is.
Yeah, back
Measure
up.
there to the
You don't want
edge.
to cross that line.
Right.
Go up. Okay, can you use... Yep.
Keep going. Okay, right about there.
Okay.
So that's 0.147.
Stop with the vertical thruster.
Okay, so distance
I think we went down.
measured is, what was it, 0.147? So go ahead and write that. That's 6 inches.
Okay, now turn around. Because you're by the aorta.
Okay. And now what you're going to do is you're going to measure that.
Okay, that's just his hand.
Yep.
Okay, just keep stretching it.
Yep. You zeroed it before.
Okay,
That's
so
fine.
go up.
Looks like they're using some pretty advanced, or should I say, prehistoric measurement and distance calculations. It looks like they might be measuring the bottom of the pool in relation to where the blood sugar and
Oh, okay. So
Looks like, yeah, they're. You guys can't see the feed on the TV, but we can see on their operator side they're using a feed or picture from their phone and using
Right there.
Jess,
Okay.
do the
Uh,
okay thing.
and measuring
Do
the
okay if we go
the
up.
picture on the
Are we
phone.
going
go
up?
Nice.
that's a very interesting
Other
way
way.
of tackling the task.
Okay, so go
and
down. No, no, Tanisha.
really, as long as
Yeah, but do
the
rest of the
resolutions
other-
are consistent
Divided by
okay.
inches, then it should be actually a
Did we
pretty
go up that time?
refined way of finding the distance.
Done?
Okay.
No. Okay,
all.
so
So
the
what
other
if
way
I-
is up.
Yeah.
So the left, that's up. So we need to get up close to them and go up. Don't go too far. Remember? You don't want to cross that line. Are we? We're close.
No, carefully, Desmond. Yep.
Okay. Go
Okay. Go ahead and multiply.
forward and...
What if I do the other way and then up?
Okay, would it help if Tanisha turned it up while you went forward? The Z thruster?
So what if I
Because then you
just
can go
put it
forward
on
and up.
Times 6.
at the same time? Yeah. So what
Okay.
if I just left it on there and then went up? Yeah, that's smart. Okay, just do that because it'll stay in the place.
Was that the right way? Isn't it to the left?
Yeah, we were trying that and then we said it didn't go up.
Okay, so
It's kind of working.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
That's fine. No, you can keep that. Okay.
Did that
Divide
work?
by 12 just so we can get a visual
was that
of how much
was
it
that
might
up? Thumbs up if it was up. If that direction was up. No.
About
No.
11 feet.
So the left is up.
So we can go back to your picture.
We got about the halfway point now with about 10 minutes left.
Thank you.
Okay.
From our end, we can see that they're having some issues knowing what direction they're going. They're actually using the communication between the drivers and the person manning the
This
tether
guy,
to find
probably
out
about 6
what
feet.
direction they're going.
Stretching out.
The tether
Does it look
person
like it's
is
roughly
telling them what
across?
direction the robot's moving, so they can know
Pretty close.
which input is giving what.
Okay. So
And they were able to get out of the water
That'll-
with that.
Okay.
that'll be
Let's
Now,
add.
That'll be our
it
number.
does look like they were using
132.69,
hand signals to communicate.
Yeah.
I believe the official rule is you cannot, or
Correct.
the tether
Let's
person
check
cannot
it.
talk to
Yes.
the drivers.
Let's go.
Because they were using hand signals, they're able to somewhat bypass that legally.
Don't do the cup.
Yeah, don't do the cup. Yeah, let's just do
Let's do the first one you did again, just to check. If we have time. So the depth one.
Yeah.
That one I'm a little worried about because that one I think is like a 9 foot. The pool is 9 feet deep, and it looks like it's almost towards the bottom.
But the robot's getting ready to go back in. Got plenty of time on the clock, so no need to get out now.
One of you deliver something, correct?
So it goes like all the way down there.
Okay. Drop us in.
So go ahead.
Go all the way out. Well, once it, yeah.
And I'm pointing. Remember, this is like double.
Because that'll be where deliver is. So do I still measure both of them?
Actually, we better do it this way.
Yeah. Yeah. Just keep going straight and
Yeah. So like the middle of that to down there.
okay, that was down here? So go
Yeah.
straight
So where that line is.
to the left, left. Oh, we go back. That's the wall. Okay. Do we see the second kidney stone?
Yeah, we got one
Up a little. So it's got to be
Go to
halfway.
the right and then try to go that
Okay.
way.
What you got?
Go
Three,
back.
two. Okay. So write that down.
Left.
That's 6 over.
Okay, go forward that way. left more.
Okay. And now you gotta measure half of it. Oh. What'd you measure? Did you measure this?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was wrong. This should not be 6 over. It should just be X
Oh,
over.
there's the.
You got one off. You knocked one off.
Okay. Left.
Okay.
I think this is probably. Okay. And it was on this second one. So.
Okay.
So back.
So about half of that. So actually measure the whole thing and then just divide it by 2. Because it's easier to measure a big thing than a small thing.
So the way they're able to
Okay.
seemingly accurately measure and map out the floor is by using
Go ahead
the
and
dimensions
divide that.
in relation to known objects. So they know how long their attachment is.
I know you can do
They know how long the mission props are. So by comparing those together, they can basically sort of map out a way of measuring distance between
Is it
different
your-
objects.
You might as well use it. Okay. So for X.
And then right. Okay.
You don't lose
So-
points for
See
removing.
if we can go up a little bit.
So if you just knock them all off.
Also, we heard on the control talk someone say soft for X, where they're getting a lot of
you guys hear
practice
that?
Vertical and right.
in their math skills for when
If
they
you knock them all
have to go
off,
back
there's
to
no penalty
class.
for knocking the wrong ones off.
Yeah, one of the more
I think we need to
interesting
crank it up and then
ways of tackling this mission
so
Yeah, on the control side, we see a lot of calculations happening. We have calculators out, people writing
you want to turn
writing numbers on their papers. There's doing a lot of math going on.
Okay, stop. Put it back to the center.
It is.
6 minutes.
Okay, so on,
Okay, so
on
right
my
down.
count, Val, you turn to the left.
Okay.
Wait for like 3 seconds.
Divide by 2.
And Gabby, you turn to
Or,
the right.
and I'm sorry. Circle it, circle it.
1.
Because I want the answer, I think, in
1,
inches.
2,
Okay. Now
3.
divide by 12 so we can just double check.
1, 2, stop.
Okay. So go
Okay.
to
You
your
have to
image.
wait 3 seconds. Should we do it again?
1, 2, 3.
I turn, then 1,
Okay.
2, 3. Should I do it again? Okay, what if you go up first and then I turn?
What do you think?
So go up, yeah, and then I turn. So once we're like past above it, then I'll
You
turn.
could go until we hear the
Yeah.
sound,
That's what I was gonna say.
and then Gabby can turn a little to your right. Okay, so
Yeah.
Val, go up.
To the left.
Left,
How
yes,
deep is the floor?
It's like 9 feet 10 inches.
Okay. So how close
Okay.
down?
We did just
And we
pass
get it
the
back.
5-minute mark, so Degrees of Freedom have 5 minutes left on their mission.
Okay.
We can
so
use
back
from the
up,
middle of here to the bottom,
Go to the left a little bit.
right? You know what size that is? Is it 9 feet 10
Like
inches?
around 9 feet 10 inches.
Okay. So we can use that and we can double check our answer.
Forward.
It looks like Degrees of Freedom have figured out their distance calculation. It looks like they are using,
So go to the
they're
right.
going to try to solve their equations in another way to kind of verify that their answer is correct before reporting it.
Keep going to the right.
Okay. So
Okay.
1.72.
So
So 9.910 inches. 9 times 12
okay.
is 108, right?
Yeah. Let's get that to the right away.
So it's
You're gonna have to back up a little bit.
118 inches. So 118 over 1.72. How much time do you
Go
have?
to the right.
Just under 4
We
minutes.
caught in the net.
Okay. So just 4 minutes, guys.
Oh, wrong one.
Okay. Can you back up? Okay. Now go to the right. Go to the right. Go to the right.
Okay. So X,
Go to the right.
and we haven't measured the other one yet. But that's going to be equal to that. So X over something is going to be equal to that.
Oh,
Right
X
again.
over something?
So let's not worry about it. Let's measure the other one first. You get the picture back?
Can you go up? Upward, upward.
So we got to measure.
Oh, we're turning.
What's that? Maybe.
Okay, so now we're facing up.
No, you're okay. So then 3 minutes. 3 minutes, ladies.
3 minutes remaining in our final mission
That-
run.
Go to the
X over 1.422. Salt.
Okay. So go to the right then.
Wait, what?
Salt. Say salt. This is equal to that.
Can you go backwards?
Okay. So 118.
Oh, no, go the other way.
So we're running out of time, so we're gonna do a shortcut.
Okay, try
118.
going up and to the left.
Yep, 118. Divided by 1.72.
I'm gonna turn this
Divided by.
and go to the left.
Okay. Times 1.42.
Roughly 2 minutes remaining. Degrees of Freedom will want to start thinking about going back home. That way they don't receive any penalty points for not making it back
That
to
sounds
the dock.
Okay, times 12. Okay, so write that down. So ladies, Natalie's got the answers.
Can you go back?
She thinks that the pole is roughly 8 feet down, and the things were roughly 11-ish feet wide. Does that sound from what you've seen?
Yeah. So that's the circuit,
So we'll give
we're
you the
upside down.
So now you want to give them, so give them the depth rate first. So this is the blood pressure.
I think we're upside down.
Yeah. So I'll give them that is the blood sugar. So
Which one's step? Which one's step?
the depth is the blood pressure.
Okay, so let's go back to Jessica and
So we should surface.
Okay, you have 1 minute left.
okay, go.
Now we're in the 1 minute warning now, so should really be starting to think about going back to base so they don't get any penalties for time.
It's the final minute of mission runtime in the National Underwater Robotics Challenge 2019. This competition has been brought to you by CSEPWETA, Microchip Technology, Arizona State University, Blue Robotics, Scuba Professionals. Thank you all for hosting this wonderful event. As we approach 30 seconds remaining in Degrees of Freedom's run,
You're on your left side right now.
You're like this. So need the writer.
their robot SS Selena looks like they're trying to make it back to the dock. We'll see if they do it.
Cutting it very close now, 15 seconds left. Hopefully they can make it back up.
There's another robot on the other side of this. Like in the other.
Even if they don't though, it sounds like they scored quite a bit of points that many teams weren't able to complete with that distance measurement task. Degrees of Freedom really sending it with some very calculated mathematics in order to complete this task. Was their math right or wrong? We'll have to find out when the refs calculate the final score.
So it looks like their camera feed might be a little off.
Points per minute over, or 20 points to have them pull it back. So it's going to take more than 2 minutes to
Degrees of Freedom, though, able to do an impressive run despite these robot performance issues.
pull the power. That's how you disable the power. We'll have them bring it
Does seem like the run is ending. We had the unofficial time, so we're definitely not
back to the
sure.
batteries. Okay.
It looks like they're debating whether they should take the tug penalty or try to make it back and take the time penalty.
Yeah, bring it back.
I think they did okay for us this time.
Yeah, good job.
I have two.
So they're high-fiving at the control station, so I think that might be the end.
Yep, that's the end of the run. Diver is going to retrieve the robot. Congratulations to the Degrees of Freedom from Chandler, Arizona.
Let's break down. Well, now
Congratulations to all 7 teams that competed in these finals. Typewriter Repairmen, the Honey Badgers, Big Eye, Subs Anatomy, Binary Bots, Queen Creek High School of Robotics, and the Degrees of Freedom. Thank you all for tuning in to this webcast of the National Underwater Robotics Challenge 2019. As the refs calculate the final scores for the mission, it is important to keep in mind that the mission is only part of a team's overall score. You still have the oral presentations, tech journals, website, as well as any other points that are attributed besides the mission.
I,
And we,
I believe tomorrow will be the award ceremony, and that's when everything will be final.
yep. So, with that said, this is the National Underwater Robotics Challenge 2019, and we are signing off.
It wasn't beeping before that.
Yeah, that's my son. Breakdown over a submarine.
Because you're about to.
You're about it. Oh, another tantrum? Why does it smell like cow?
It does.
FFA ting.
FF18.
It's a dairy farm just
Oh.
Oh, I love cows. I love cows. Dairy farms? Actually, dairy farms are a lot of fun.
that's why it smells like cow. 'Cause it's dairy farm.
As long as you got
What's that?
How do I post it?
Really?
She wants to know if she can explain how she got the calculations. Sure.
I think I know how she did it. But
Yeah, we actually used our priority. So what we did is we went over there and we measured out like the squares, and we took a measuring tape and we found out that each was each square was at 1 inch, and then from the top of the board to the bottom, it's 6 of them. So using that, we measured that it was 6 inches. So what we did is we took a caliper and we measured from here to here, and we used the ratio and we converted it. So what we did was we took the distance wanted, which we want, which was px, and then divided by the measured distance from the top to the bottom of the blood pressure. And then we did it by 6 inches to represent the top of the board to the bottom, and then we measured the border distance that we got from the pictures, and using that we converted it to our...
Yep. And so it worked really good on the height. Didn't work so you're quite a ways off still with the, and the reason is the camera's this way in the zone you were looking at.
Yeah.
The camera doesn't have a curve in it, but this way, because you can see such a wide view, you have a curve in there, so the curve kind of threw you guys off a little bit. Not a big deal, but it just, because the camera's not giving you a perfectly flat image in that direction, the side-to-side direction, it throws off the calculation. So you could compensate for it in the future by going in a pool, measuring some stuff, and then figuring out, okay, what is that? So one way would be one ratio, the other direction would be a different ratio in the camera. So it's just one of those weird quirks with cameras and optics. So it's just the way it happens sometimes. Good job, guys.
Thank you.